This comment by Cheesy John Picker was echoed by a few people, so I thought it would be a good time to explain why the Preston King Street bike lanes are substandard. Cheesy John Picker is saying that the bike lane needs to be outside the parking lane for safety reasons and makes a cheesy won't somebody think of the children a ploy for your emotions. So I went to King Street in Uptown Waterloo to show everybody why being cheesy is not the same as being right. Here you can see a much better layout for bike lanes through a smaller city core like Preston or Waterloo. You have the parking lane, then a roll curb, then some bollards, then the bike lane, then street furniture, and lastly the pedestrian sidewalk. In the Preston bike lanes, if a driver opens their door without checking, the cyclist has to swerve out into traffic, which is going to be pretty dangerous, especially since drivers often crowd into unprotected bike lanes in anticipation of making right-hand turns or when trying to get around somebody making a left turn. No driver deliberately wants to hit a cyclist, but this kind of layout encourages those kinds of collisions. In Uptown Waterloo, the placement of the street furniture and the visually distinctive surfacing serves to remind pedestrians that they are stepping off the sidewalk and into the bike lane, so they need to be careful while getting into the passenger side of the car or loading packages or children. The roll curb and bollards do the same thing for anybody getting out of a vehicle on the passenger side. If anybody is doing any passenger side activities like disembarking or loading in a child, the roll curb and bollards act like a buffer so that a fully open door does not take up the bike lane and there is plenty of room for the cyclist to go around them. That's why a bike lane needs to go inside the parking lane, not outside next to the traffic lanes. If we look in the other direction, we can see that in Uptown Waterloo, they went even further. They made cross rides separate from the crosswalk, something that was not done in Preston. Both of these roads, King Street in Waterloo and King Street in Preston, are part of Regional Road 8 and are the responsibility of the region of Waterloo. So why wasn't Preston done like Uptown Waterloo with a better layout? If we turn back around, we can see why. Street side parking was only kept on one side of King Street in Uptown. On Preston's King Street, they kept the parking on both sides and had less space to work with for both the bike lanes and the sidewalks. This just shows how continuing to give cars priority in urban settings leads to a worse experience for everybody, for pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers getting around, and the shopkeepers who would have benefited by the higher foot and cycle traffic of wider sidewalks and more comfortable bike lanes.